right? And he just comes across, and he just stands there, and he goes, "Oh God!" So I looked over, I looked back at Jane. Jane didn't even look up. She just went, "Nothing we can do." So I'm all alone, right? So the sweat starts, right? Fucking hell. I'm waiting for it. He does it again. He goes, I go, fucking hell. And I look at him like that. I just stare at him. Like, Jane goes, he doesn't know why you're staring at him. I go, I want to know. I want to go, why are you staring at him? Keep doing that, right? And Jane went, he's a busboy. Let's just eat and go, right? So I wasn't allowed to say anything, right? So this is how mad I am. This is how I got through the rest of that meal, right? It's a true story. Eating, right? Every time I hear, I go, come! That's what you get. I did want this to be more highbrow, but here we are. No, I do actually think this show is going to be my most honest and confessional show so far. Not in an Edinburgh Fringe type way, you know what I mean? Oh, my parents died, so I went all autistic. None of that shit. My parents did die, but I'm pretty sure I'm not autistic, because once someone gave me a Rubik's Cube and I put it straight in the fucking bin. So that is the test, I think. That is the test. oh God. No, but I'm getting old now, and in that silence, the first year, right? People used to go, "You're not old," but now it's the first year I go, "Oh, I'm getting old now," and they go, "All right." No. In fact, it's worse than that. They don't just go silent. They try and fill the gap. They go, "Oh." But the good thing about getting old is you don't care what people think about you. Well, but you should care a bit, shouldn't you? Because caring what people think about you is what stops you walking around with shit down your trousers. You know what I mean? Oh, look at Grandad. He doesn't care what people think about him. No, he's wanking at a wedding. I am getting old now, but it's not all bad. There's good and bad. There's good and bad to getting old. There really is. Yes, there's more chance now of me having a heart attack, having a stroke, getting cancer, right? But much less chance now of me ever being raped in prison. So yeah, see? When I was a young man, I thought I could never go to prison, not with this cute ass, but now I think I'd be left alone. I'd be pretty confident. My first day, I just whistle down the corridor with a little towel like that. They'd all come to the bars and go, "Ooh," you know what I mean? I'd spend as much time as I wanted in the shower. Just no one's not a sniff. No one's even. My big danger nowadays of bending over in a prison shower would be my back going, right? I mean, me crumpling to the floor, and I'm going to be helped to my bunk by two big gay rapists. And they just put me down naked and start walking up. I go, "Oh lads, before you go, up down my shoulder, can you give me a little tug?" And they go, "No." I go, "What do you know? You're fucking gay rapists." Right? And they go, "We're not monsters." I also think I'll be okay in prison now. I've got a bit of cash. I think I can buy my way out of trouble. Do you know what I mean? Like the first day, I'd go, "Who's Mr. Big?" And they go, "I don't know, Chopper Harris, Demon," right? So I go and see Chopper, and I go, "Are you?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Right, I'm in for a year. There's £1 million waiting for you if you make sure no one fucking touches me. No one steals my lunch. No one so much as fingers me." Chopper goes, "There's no foreplay in prison. What are you talking about?" It's your head in the toilet. Forget I mentioned it. Just the lunch thing I said. Don't forget anything. I'm at that age as well now. I'm glad there's no Harold Shipman knocking around. Do you know what I mean? Those of you who are too young, Harold Shipman, probably our most prolific serial killer. but he never gets mentioned in the list. Now, he is number one. He killed about 300. He killed old people. He was a doctor. That's my point. He killed old people, right? So he'd have his eye on me, right? And but he wasn't like a serial killer. I think that's why people forget, you know, because he was a GP. He had a little tweed jacket, old school, little shirt and tie, little beard and gold rimmed glasses. He'd do house visits. He'd go around and see Edna, 85. He'd go, "Do you want a cup of tea, Edna?" She'd go, "Yes, please." Right? And he'd make Edna a lovely cup of tea, and then she'd put a lethal amount of opioids in it. And he'd give it and he'd just watch her drink it and fall asleep and die. And that was it. He didn't even masturbate, which is, yeah, it's a waste, but it's up to him, it's up to him, it's his murder, don't diss him. But they reckon he got the idea when he was a little boy, little Aaron Chipman. He watched his mum die of lung cancer and be given morphine, and that's where he got the idea from. I don't know whether that means he liked the fact that morphine put her out of pain and it was like mercy killings to or the opposite, like he was jealous of old people who lived longer than his mother should have, so he was punishing them. I don't know, doesn't matter. Actually, it does matter, because if you can understand why someone did something like that, if you can just study those 300 bit and see why, you might be able to spot a sign and stop a crime in the future before it happens. Do you know what I mean? I always think that with a school shooting in America, right? It's always some emo who goes into a fucking nursery school and kills about 30 toddlers, then turns the gun at themselves. And all the witnesses always go, "Oh, he was the quiet one. He sat at the back. He was bullied. Let's round those cunts up now." You know what I mean? Bullies, good as gold. They're getting it out of their system. It's these dweebs you gotta watch. But yeah, I think you get obsessed with crime and punishment as you get older. I've always been quite interested in morality, and I studied philosophy at university, and particularly the death penalty. The death penalty is always. I've always been anti the death penalty. You know, I was a young liberal and was really anti the death penalty, and I'm still anti the death penalty. But nowadays, don't get me wrong, I love it when someone gets killed doing something they shouldn't at the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, you see there's a hostage video in Brazil or something, and he's someone who's got this poor woman, and he's got her going, "You won't take me alive, Papa." And then the marksman just takes out his brainstem. Oh, I love that shit. Or when a bullfighter gets gored to death. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Particularly when the horn goes up the arse. Oh. I call that a hole in one. All those videos on YouTube coming out of lawless New York. Do you know what? It's some bloke in a hoodie, he's just robbing a convenience store, everyone's scared of him, people are filming it, he doesn't give a fuck, right? And he's going to get away with it. And then suddenly, behind the counter, comes a little 70-year-old Korean man who batters him to death with a broomstick. I fucking love that. I cannot wait to be a 70-year-old vigilante, just walking around Hampstead with a walking stick. But it's a sword! I paint it white as well, to look even more vulnerable, right? And I'd go up to gangs of youths and go, "Excuse me, lads, do you know where the Nike store is? I want to buy some Air Jordans with all this cash." And when they go, "Even you fucking little cunt." Not long now. Not long. But the death penalty is different, right? Because it's not in self-defense. It's not in the heat of the moment. It's cold justice. It's violence delivered by the state, you know? It doesn't matter what you've done, you're going to murder people. You stand trial, the judge goes, guilty, you know, put you on death row. Sometimes for 10, 15 years, it seems unnecessarily cruel. You could be a changed person, you know, and then they just murder you in front of witnesses. And it's from the Bible, really, an eye for an eye. You know, the state says, you murdered someone, so we're going to murder you. Right? But if you rape and murder someone, you still only just get murdered, right? Exactly. That's sending out the wrong message, isn't it? Because that's like the judge going, the rape was free, but just once, I want the judge to go, right, you raped a murderer. You're going to be taken here to a place where you'll be hung and raped. What, at the same time? Yeah. Like loads of volunteers with dildos. It's an idea. But I think you get obsessed with justice as well as you get older because you've seen so many injustices. Just once you want the world to be right, you want the innocent to be rewarded and the guilty to be punished, right? And I think that's why we hate Jimmy Savile so much in this country. Not just for the awful things he did, but because people say, oh, and he got away with it. He had a great life and he got away with it. Do you know what I mean? Did he though? Is that a great life? He had sex with disabled kids. If someone said to me, Rick, you can do this thing and get away with it, right? I go, what? And they go, have sex with disabled kids. I go, no. So in a way, I'm worse than him, but at least he gave him a chance. So that's the worst thing I've said. That's the worst thing I've ever said. Okay? So let's button that cannot go in the special. That will never go. No, because it's a good joke, but I'd be handing it to them on the plate. They've been trying to cancel me for 15 years, but they'd have me then, wouldn't they? Right? They'd go, oh, he's done, you know. And it's funny that people been trying to cancel people recently. Sometimes they're other comedians writing for The Guardian going, oh, he's punching down. They've got this obsession with punching up and punching down. I don't know who made that up, right? And their idea of punching up, they have a go at Boris Johnson. How the fuck is that punching up? The cunt is learning disabled. How? This fucking waterlogged Gary Busey fucking albino Eggman thing, right? He can't fucking string a sentence together. It's fucking moron. That is not. That's punching down. I punch up. I have got people like Stephen Hawking, right? The greatest brain that's ever lived. And you couldn't have insulted him even if he was alive because he's like part robot or something. I know he's basically a talking chair. You can say what you want about him. And he was on Epstein's Island, so fuck him. Right? What was he doing there? Why? What the fucking? I know pedos that would kill for a ticket to that place, and he's there like that. What are you doing here, Stephen? I'm thinking weird shit. Fuck off. Pointless. Fucking pointless. I bet it's the same at Alton Towers. I want to get on the front. Why? That is probably a hate crime. That's a buzzword at the moment, isn't it? Hate crime. Whatever happens, people go, oh, was it a hate crime? Why? Oh, it makes it so much worse. Does it? Why? If I was walking home and someone randomly just jumped me for no reason, beat me up, stabbed me, threw acid in the face, I wake up in intensive care, beep, beep, beep. I open my eyes through the bandages, there's a policeman there, he goes, Mr. Gervais, yeah, just want to let you know, it wasn't a hate crime. Oh, thank God. Who gives a fuck? It's pretty, you know what I mean? But no, a hate crime is something that's based on someone's race, disability, sexuality. So someone got a gun, he wants to kill someone at random. He looks at a crowd, he goes, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, bang, kill someone dead. He goes to court. The judge goes, why'd you kill that person? He goes, no reason. The judge goes, so you're not a bigger? He goes, no. Aww. 10 years, right? Some other guy got a gun, he goes, I fucking hate dwarves. Right? Sees a little dwarf, he takes aim, bang, kills the dwarf dead, right? He goes to court, judge goes, why'd you kill that dwarf? Because I hate them cunts, right? The judge goes, you're a bigger, 20 years. Now, he shouldn't get more for shooting a dwarf. If anything, it's a harder shot, you know what I mean? Needs a bit of work, that needs a bit of work. People don't realise how much work goes into one of these tours. My last tour, I did 50 new material nights, 25 work in progress shows around the country. Then I did an 85-day arena tour around the world, honing it all the time. One critic sat at his kitchen table, said, lazy. He said I was immature and vulgar. Four-eyed cunt. But the longer you live, the grumpier you'll get. That's not just happened to me, that's happened to all of you. Again, I think because the longer you live, the more terrible things you see, and the more burden you carry. And the more burden you carry, the weaker you get as you get older, carrying that burden. And you can't fucking die nowadays. You know what I mean? You're just about to die and back. You know what I mean? They just fucking keep you alive. They can transplant every organ now. Transplant every organ. Not your brain, not yet, that wouldn't make sense anyway, because you are your brain, so that would be an everything else transplant, wouldn't it? But I'd sign up for that. I don't care about this, it's to get this around. If I could leave £1 million to science, right? So when I died, suppose I die, my body's crushed, right? But my head's intact, they keep that on ice, wait for a body donor, some poor bloke gets his head crushed, they put my head on his body, and I'm back. Statistically, I will get a bigger penis as well. Trust, the odds are in my favour there. I wake up in the future and I see the scar, and the first thing I do is, that's all right. You know what I mean? I go, oh, you've always wanted a big knob, haven't you? Yeah. And I go, I love a little play with it. You know what I mean? Every time I go, oh, that's not my knob. Do you know what I mean? I go, oh, that's not my knob. Oh, that's not my knob. It's not my hand either. Carry on. When I was a young man, the thought of me being this age was that I thought 63. Fucking hell, that must be dreadful, right? But I thought, but it'd be the future. I thought, but in 2024, if it gets all too much, you'll be able to walk into a chemist and go, can I have the suicide tablet, please? Do you know what I mean? That's what I thought. You just go in there and go, can I have the suicide tablet? They go, are you sure? Look at me, you cunt, right? But no, we're still not there yet. In fact, if you're so decrepit you can't take your own pills, you can't have someone help you because they'll go to jail, right? So if I had a terrible accident, I was paralysed from the fucking head down, and I said to someone, can you give me the... They go, we can't, but there's a couple of people that are promised they will give it, and I promised I'll do the same for them. I won't. If it happens to them first, if they go, I go, no, I'm not going to jail for you, you know what I mean? I might tip them out of bed, so they just flunk on the floor, like face down on the carpet, then I'll sprinkle the tablets near them, so they have to... The nurse comes and I go, he died. She goes, how? I go, it's like a fucking slug. Oh, God. But you can't worry about what happens after you die, right? People say, oh, what happens after I die? Loads of shit. Just doesn't involve you. Just get on with your life. Don't worry about it. You won't know about it, right? And I know some people who are stressed about who happens up. I know some religious people who really are worried about will they go to heaven or hell. I think you're ruining your actual life worrying about that. To me, it's made up, like, particularly hell. How mad is that? That is definitely someone just trying to frighten kids. Hell. My favourite horror film of all time is The Exorcist, right? I loved it so much, I watched it on VHS and I rewound it and watched it again, right? But there's a bit in that that's meant to be like a really poignant bit, and it made me laugh, right? Because it was the idea of the devil, it was this powerful fucking evil source, being so childish and crass, right? You know the bit. So the little girl is possessed by the devil, and they're throwing holy water on it, she's hissing, and at one point the devil turns her head round and he makes her say, your mother sucks cocks in hell, right? And like, in the film, the person is devastated, he goes, oh no, That's the real devil, so he knows, so it's true. My poor mother sucking If scientists found the devil, I was wrong, right? They proved to me there was a God, and they found the devil, and they tested him, and it was peer-reviewed, right? And it wins the Nobel, and I go, fuck, it's mind-blowing. I'd have to follow the science, so I believe in the devil. I want to meet him. I go, fuck it, that is amazing, you know. As long as I was safe. I don't know what makes me safe in the devil. I don't know the rules. I know that vampires live forever, but a bit of garlic fucks them up. So maybe with the devil in a cage, put a sprig of parsley on top, he's fucked. I don't know, right? He's weak, right? So I can meet the devil when he's there in a cage, and I go, "You're the devil." He goes, "Yeah." And then he tried to hurt my feelings, and that was his best shot. He goes, "Where?" I go, "What?" He goes, "Your mother sucks cocks in hell." I go, "I don't care." You know what I mean? But one, she's dead. 2, she was heterosexual. 3, she never had her teeth in towards the end. So, nobody's hell. Think of all the terrible things that could be happening to her. Being raped by red hot pokers, rats eating her eyes. My mum gets cock, Jimmy. Go on, girl. That has got to be one of the better jobs in hell, as there is fucking hell. Right, I've never sucked a cock in my life, I never will. But if I died and I found myself in hell, I'd go, oh my god, hell, torture for eternity. Or I see the first cock and go, I'm on this. Not a problem, son. Not a fucking problem. Yeah, okay. Seeing people fucking skinned alive and fucking raped by goats and shit like that. I've been looking at the big man going, I'm doing a great job here, boy. There's the devil there with a clipboard looking a bit confused, like, he went straight for the cock, you know what I mean? What if he goes, yeah, carry on then, right? But then what if he went, I mean, I did have it down for ironing, I go, fucking ironing. Fuck's sake. I couldn't even fucking iron it. I've never done that in my life either, but it's the, oh, who's getting their cock sucked in hell? Why is that? That's not a punishment, that's a little treat, isn't it? Whose cock am I sucking? Because the devil's a trickster, so I think I'm all happy there, and I went, oh, fucking Hitler. I'm just fucking Hitler's cock for an eternity. How is this alright for me to say this in public? Because if I came round one of your houses tonight and I shouted that I'm fucking sucking Hitler's cock in hell, you call the police quite well. But you've paid to come in, you can't even shout this at you. I mean, how did comedy get to this? What, 20 years ago, you wouldn't have Ken Dodd come out and go, what are they for fucking sucking Hitler's cock? It would never happen. But here we are. Oh, it's made a sore throat from sucking cock. Oh my god. What else annoys me? The internet. I'm over the internet now. Have you ever read something so annoying online? You wish you could reach through the internet and punch someone in the fucking face. Trolls are horrible. I don't get trolled much actually. I've got like 25 million followers on X and Instagram and Facebook, and mostly it's lovely, you know. It's like they're like this, like that. I like, you know, I bought a ticket, I bought vodka, or whatever, and I'm liking like 1,000 lovely tweets, right? And then once a week you'll get one that goes, "You're fucking shit, mate," and that's the one you stop on. I think, now why have they said that? Why have they grabbed their phone, immediately said that? What are they? And I always look into it. At first, I look at their bio because that gives you a clue of what. And it's usually neurodivergent femboy 21. Black Lives Matter, Free Palestine, Doctor Who. Their avatar is always a cartoon sexy animal, like a fucking fox in a bikini or something. Then I look down their timeline, no punctuation, no captions, all stuff like, I can hear Dad downstairs, I hate him. You know what I mean? It's like, and I think I could probably get them to commit suicide. They're so fucking close to just a little bit of persuasion. No one likes you, kill yourself, kill yourself. Show your daddy, show daddy, show daddy. But I think if I did do that, and they did do it, I'd make the paper, so I never would do that. But no, I'm thinking it. Lots of mental illness, very popular, loads I've never heard of as well. Like it's 1,000 new died. We only had like, when I was at school, you were either thick or clever, normal or mental. That was it. Now there's fucking million. I can't go. ADHD is very popular, isn't it? That's taken off lovely. Particularly sort of white middle class artistic types. Oh, they grab like they love fucking ADHD, didn't they? The other type, they're sort of like 50 now. They're like a failed comedian or poet or something, and they had a great start. They went to a posh school, and their career was going well. Then some little fucking oik like me overtakes them, and they need an excuse. They have to get on the victim ladder. Oh, they can't be black, they can't be working class. They go, oh, I know, what? I'm a bit thinking. What? Oh, I'm thinking. I have one thought, and I have another thought. Yeah, we all do. No, mine's a bit more special than that. I'm a bit thinking. No, I tested positive for ADHD. Took me 10 goes at the test, but eventually I got the result I wanted. I reckon you're going to have ADHD in the Special Olympics one day. It's going to fucking win everything. Pushing blind people out. They literally never stop talking about it. But I don't know why they brag about it. They've got their ADHD. They put it in their bio. They put it in their CV. It's got disorder in it. When did we start bragging about having a disorder? 20 years ago, you wouldn't have got a business card and it said Ron Pike, anal warts. Keep it to your fucking self. No one cares. No one gives a fuck. I think fear and anxiety is going to be the new pandemic amongst the youth, you know, because we've had a whole generation now grew up on social media, instant gratification. It doesn't build character. You know, they can't socialise properly because they can't deal face to face with it because they're used to hiding behind an identity. And now we're enabling their mental illness as opposed to trying to snap them out of it. And now they fear the thing they once loved. They're afraid of the internet because of AI. Young people are really scared about artificial intelligence. But I say this: if AI starts becoming a burden, switch it off. Right? Like we did now. Sorted, isn't it? Climate change is the big thing around, but the youth are they're big on climate. They're really worried about, you know, global warming and that. And I looked into it, and if the polar ice caps completely melted, the average sea level would go up about 60 metres. So all coastal areas would be affected a bit, but the real devastation, the real loss of life in millions and millions would be in places like India and China and Thailand. So relax. But we all suffer a bit of mental illness, don't we? We're all on the spectrum, you know, we've all got a bit of OCD, mild to crippling, we've all got a bit of anxiety, again, mild to life-changing, and everyone's different, and different things work for different people. Like my thing, which I never talk about, I know that drugs wouldn't work for me, or therapy, my thing, when I have a bout of my thing, right, the only thing that works for me is to dress up in my dead mother's clothing and murder a homeless person. And that makes me feel happy temporarily, but we're not going to run out of tramps, are we? So, you know. On a serious note, you'll be surprised to know I've never had therapy. Not because I don't think it worked for some people, but I know it would work for me. If you put me in a quiet room with someone looking all professional and empathetic, I just go, fuck this, right? I want to wind them up. I want to go, fuck, you're the maddest cunt I've ever met. Do you know what I mean? I just make stuff up. I go things like, I had that dream again. They go, what dream? They love dreams. They go, what dream? I go, well, I was on a train. They go, oh, train, I love trains. Oh, my train. And I was going in and out of a furry tunnel, right? And they go, oh, furry. The furry tunnel was talking to me. I go, oh, what did it say? I go, it had my mummy's voice. They go, mummy's voice. Like, to go, you dirty little bastard. You dirty little. And then the train driver was my dad, and he made me all nervous, so I spilt my milk on my daddy's face. Or I'd noticed something about the therapist early doors, and I'd put that away as ammo in case they ever wound me up with it. Like one day they'd go, "You're very defensive, aren't you?" I mean, you've got a fucking cleft palate. You know what I mean? I'm not sure about therapy. I'm sort of old school. I think you are what you are, to be honest. You know, you can't choose your own parents, so you can't choose your own biology. You can't change your own biology. You can't choose your own brain. You can't change your own brain. By the time you introspect about what sort of personality you've got, it's too late. It's been gifted to you. You are what you are. Like, I still feel working class, right? I know I'm not. I live in a big house in Hampstead, right? But I'm still there. Like, I want people to know that I'm where I came from, and I want workmen to like me. Do you know what I mean? Like, if a workman comes to the house, right, and he looks at me and goes, "Oh, your house is over." Yeah, I go into mode. I mean, it's like, "What's the fucking traffic like?" All right, well, you know what I mean? I wanted to, and then I invite him into the Great Hall, right? And he goes, "I'll take my shoes off." I go, "No, fuck, it's porcelain. Be careful, mate." Right, and then he starts looking at all the paintings, and he's looking at the paintings, and I go, "Oh, fuck, he knows." I'm like, "Oh my God, wait, how am I going to get out of this one, right?" And he goes, "Is that a Monet?" I go, "Yeah." French cloth. You know what I mean? I tried to talk to him like, I mean, I was working class. I was born in Britain, the fourth kid of an immigrant labourer, and I lived on a council estate all my life, went to the local comprehensive, but I went to university, and that was a big change for me. But even then, I had to take a year out to earn money to get me through college, because no one had any money, right? So I had to pay my own way, and I got a job in a labourer's yard, right? Which was an eye-opener for an 18-year-old going off to college. Just the language and the things they talked about. I used to write some of them down, and I've got this little notebook I had, like from 40 years ago, where there's some of the sayings they said. And there was one bloke, right? I've used bits of him in various things, right? He was in charge, right? And he should know better. His name was Brian, and he was an horrible old bloke, right? He was probably in about 55, right? But he was like talk like that, right? Yeah, he was bald on top, long down the sides, proper pedo hairdo, right? Brown teeth, like that. When one of his teeth fell out, he just left the gap for his cigarette, like that, right? And he gave me all the shit jobs, because he knew I was only there for like 10 months, right? And once we had to grit the roads, it was January, it was iced over, and he sat in the nice warm cab of this truck, and he watched me load this ton of salt by myself, like that. And I eventually got a hammer, and he was going around the roads ready slowly, and I was sort of gritting like that, and then I finished, and I knocked on the cab, and he stopped, and he came out, and he went, "What?" Right? And I went, "We've run out." Now, I wrote this down, I've had this with me for over 4 years, right? I'll never forget these words, these exact words. He looked in the truck, and he went, "You must have only put a cunt full in." Now, I didn't even know that was a unit of measurement, right? And now I use it all the time. It's in the Ivy, or if Jane gets up, "Oh, get me a glass of champagne, don't put a cunt in." It's really useful. I want to leave you with some true stories. I said I want this to be my most honest and professional, so I've got a few stories about Hollywood I'd like to share with you. Yeah. And they're not all, unfair. I don't like the cliches and the nonsense. Like that thing that people say, "Oh, Hollywood is full of nothing but Jews," right? Nonsense. There's also thousands of paedophiles, so that's just put that straight away. I want to talk about behind the scenes of the Golden Globes, right? Now, the last time I hosted the Golden Globes was 2020. I've done it 5 times over those 10 years, previous 10 years. Thank you. And I liked them more and more, and the last one was my favourite, right? Because the world had changed in that 10 years. The first time I hosted them in 2010, like all the press of America was like, "Who is this annoying Brit insulting the most important people on the planet?" By the last time I did it, they were like, "Yeah, fuck them." Because ordinary people got sick and tired of being lectured by these sort of liberal elite entertainers, multi-millionaires, telling them how to vote and how to recycle when they were getting free jet rides to fucking Pedo Island. So it really. It hit the zeitgeist, but it was always the same deal. I said, hello, Foreign Press, I'll do it, but same deal, I'm going to write my own jokes, right? I'm not going to rehearse, so you can't even hear the jokes, so you can't cancel any of them, right? And I did have to show a lawyer the jokes about an hour before, right? Just to make sure I'd not broken any laws. I never had, because I know the law, I've never had a joke stopped, right? Sometimes the lawyer would go, are you sure you want to say that? And I go, yeah, I'm fine, right? So this last time, they said, oh, you've got to see the lawyer the day before. I went, okay. So I was driven to the Beverly Hills Centre, and this big guard sort of showed me to a room. He sort of let me in and shut the door behind me. And there was about 10 of them, like just 10 people in suits at this long table, just staring at me. I went, hi. I went, shall I do the monologue? I went, please, tough crowd, you know what I mean? So I did the monologue for them as best you can, right? And it was about 7 or 8 minutes long. And to be fair, I saw some of them sort of going, some of them making notes, some of them going, right? And I was sort of doing this, and I was just keeping an eye on them, right? And I got to the end, and I went, okay, and they went, yep, good. I went, oh, great. And then the head lawyer, there was this guy, about 60 years old, and he had this shocking white hair, just swept back like that, in this immaculate suit. And he went, oh, just one thing. Now, I did this joke, I don't know if you remember it. It went, the world got to see James Corden as a fat pussy. He was also in the movie Cats, but no one saw that. And it goes on, at one point I go, but Dame Judi Dench said it was the role she was born to play, because she loves nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet, lifting her back leg, and licking her own minge. Now, so this head lawyer, he said, genuinely, this is all true by the way, he went, just one thing, he said, when you say James Corden is a fat pussy, that's referring to his role in Cats, right? I went, yeah. He went, okay, I thought, this is fucking easy. Call yourself a lawyer. And I went, is that fine? And I went, that was it. So as I was leaving, I saw one of the other lawyers show this head lawyer his iPhone like that, and the head lawyer went, oh yeah. He said, oh, sorry, Ricky, can you come back a moment? And I went, yeah. So then I was standing there like that, there's 10 people looking at me, like fucking detention, right? And he's got this mobile phone. They'd looked up the word minge. Right? All these slick fucking American lawyers, right? And he went, it's like he's telling me off now, right? He went, it says here that the word minge is a derogatory term for female genitalia. And I went, well, yeah, it's a slang word for vagina in English. I said, you don't even use it here, do you? He went, no. He said, this goes around the world, and with due diligence, now we know it's derogatory, we'll have to bleep it live. I went, don't bleep it live. I said, people won't know what I said. It's literally the punchline, it'll ruin the joke. He went, if it's derogatory, you can't say. I said, well, what word could I use that you wouldn't bleep? And he went, you could say vagina. I went, I'm not fucking saying vagina, right? That makes it so clinical, like Judi Dench going, why is he talking like actual vagina? Do you know what I mean? And then one of the other ones said, what about box? I went, I'm not fucking saying box, mate. Right? So macho, licking her own box. Right? So, I went, minge isn't like that. Minge is a playful, it's sort of acceptable word, you know. And he went, if it says, I said, look. Then I went, what about flange? All true, it's all true, right? So he looked up the word flange, right? And he went, well, that would just be confusing because in America, a flange is a part of a sink unit. And I went, oh, I said, please let me say minge, and don't. I was really rooting for minge, right? It was like 12 angry men, like no one's leaving till I could say minge. So, please let me say minge. And I spoke, and I was there for about 25, and I was just saying, no, I can't go. And eventually I wore them down. And in the end, this bloke said, okay, you can say Minge. I went, you won't bleep it. He went, no, we won't bleep it. And I went, you promise? He went, yes. I left. I knew they would, right? And they fucking did, right? So when I said Minge, I pointed. I winked. The most frequently asked question I get about the Globes is, did anyone get so angry about something you said about them, they came up to you afterwards? And I always go, no, I wouldn't even, if they did, I wouldn't say. I don't really gossip, right? I think, there was one incident there. No, it wasn't bad, right? It was, I said this thing, and the cameras went to this guy. I don't know if he was offended or he was caught in the headlights. And I'm not in control of the cameras, but it makes it look worse if it sort of goes to them. And it was Elton John, right? But it wasn't you got to remember, Elton John's there, he's like 3 yards away. And it wasn't a bad thing, right? It wasn't even part of the monologue, because throughout the night, sometimes go, oh, do you want to introduce someone? I mean, yeah. And I go out and I say something mild or off the cuff or something. And I actually introduced Madonna. So this is all I came up with, right? So I went out and I said, our next presenter is the Queen of Pop. Not you, Alan, sit down, right? And it sort of cut to him and he sort of went like that, right? And I found out after that him and Madonna were in a bit of feud about something, so he didn't even like being mentioned in it. But as I was walking up, I was thinking, oh my God, do you think I was being homophobic? Or, oh God, it was homophobic. And I'm thinking all this, and I thought, he must have heard worse. Do you know what I mean? Like, in the 1980s, when Elton John was married to a woman, right, suing newspapers for saying he was gay, right, he was also chairman of Watford Football Club. So he and his then wife would go along and watch Watford play, and the entire crowd would sing, "Don't bend down when Elton's around, or you might get a willy up your arse." So, I think that puts my little quip into the perspective, doesn't it? Doesn't it really? I mean, I don't know how they coordinate that. Do they hand out sheet music before we're doing Willy up the arse in C? I don't know. It's just always perfect. They all know the words. And what usually happens with football fans, they take a traditional song and they change the lyrics to their own agenda. So people know the tune. Like, the one that they used for this one was, my old man said follow the van and don't dilly-dally on the way. Do you know that one? An old Cockney, right? So, but their lyrics, remember the term dilly-dally, by the way? They use it very creatively in this new version, right? I must apologise, it was the 80s. Some of the language is a little bit antiquated and not very PC, so but you know what you do, they're fucking football fans. Right, so, they went like this. Don't bend down when Alan's around, or you might get a willy up your arse. He has the nerve to call us dear. We all know he's a fucking queer. Sorry, right? He goes, he dallies and dillies. They reversed it. Why? He dallies and dillies. He plays with people's willies. Come on, grow up. I don't know. I don't even know what play with. Is it like that? You know what I mean? I thought you were going to suck it. No. Come here, we're going to race you. 63 years old. He dallies and dillies, he plays with people's willies, he's up every arse in town. Now, he's not up every arse in town. That's why we're boys, let's keep this factually correct. He's not up every arse. Take a small town, take Watford, 120,000 people. He's not up 120,000 arses, is he? I mean, half of them are women, so 60,000 arses. A quarter of them are children, he's not a paedophile. A quarter of them are OAPs, he can do better, he's a rock star. So 30,000, even if he's been bumming for 30, he's not up 30. And if he is, good luck to him, right? But my point is this. What did his then wife think of that? She's married Elton John the pop star. No one thinks he's gay. No one, she doesn't think he's gay. And she, oh, Elton John the pop star. Oh, and he's chairman. I'm with Elton John the pop star. He's chairman. And then 50,000 people saying, don't bend down when Elton's around, or you might get a willy up your arse. And she goes, why are they singing that, Elton? He goes, I don't fucking know. Watch the game. You know what I mean? You've been amazing. Good night. Cheers.